Welcome back to the Well-Fed Business Podcast with Connor Benham and the evil genius, Jonathan McCulloch. And if you're wondering why he's particularly happy, I just said something very soppy to him, which we won't share for the wider audience. Today, we're talking about positioning.
Positioning is really, I don't know how you describe it, it's how you are seen by the market. And really, our aim with it all is to be seen as the man or the woman at the top of the mountain. Because nobody crawls over broken glass and goes on quests and epic journeys to talk to the guy or the girl at the bottom of the mountain, do they?
No, they don't. That's the description I've used before. And do you know what some twonkers said back to me? They've gone, oh, so you mean branding?
It goes beyond branding. Branding to me is superficial. It's an image you put out there. And once you open the door and get inside the company, it's just a fucking another business. It's a little bit like the pink colouring on a stick of rock. It's just superficial. Positioning goes right through it, like the thing written down the middle of the thing. Welcome to Brighton, have a nice day. It runs through it. This is why I don't get shitty clients. I don't get shitty inquiries. Not because I've got this long list of rules I have to put on my website or walk around brandishing or my brand. It's just that everything I write all points the same way. Do not fuck with this person because he won't tolerate it. It's a consistent message. It's part of your personality.
Branding and personal branding is essentially the pretty front door to what positioning actually is.
If you're in, say, core control, you go through a process of 4 or 5 weeks when you're probably thinking, what the fuck are we doing this for? Because you start by creating a set of rules and boundaries, for instance. Well, your rules and boundaries will absolutely reflect your positioning. So, I mean, I'll give you a good example in my business. I mean, I've been doing this for so long, I don't actually have a list of rules written down. I don't need them because it's just do it now. But for instance, I don't take phone calls without an appointment, and I don't do phone calls for free unless you're a client, I don't charge you per call. But if you're just a prospect, I don't get on the phone with you for free. And no one calls me, not even the fucking family members call me without arranging it first, unless it's an absolute, my legs dropped off emergency. That's just a hard and fast rule, and everyone knows this. I don't need to describe it to anyone or explain it. That's just how things are. It's how they've been like that for probably 18 years. So you don't just call me. Well, that's strong positioning.
Because it sends a message, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
The message it conveys is, I am too important to be called at any time because I do important work, and your meaningless phone call isn't as important as the important work I do.
Absolutely. And not working for free and charging up front. They're all positioning statements. It's about being seen, like I say, as the man or the woman at the top of the mountain, not the bottom. It's what will make the difference in whether you're seen as the hired help or the trusted expert and advisor. The hired help gets treated like the hired help. If, say, you're a freelancer or any kind of creative, what you would do is you would dutifully trot up to your meeting, whether it's in person or on Zoom. You'll trot up to your meeting with the client, and they'll probably have 3 or 4 people in the room or on the call, and they'll all have an opinion about your work. So it's basically you do your work, and then they'll start designing it or modifying it by committee. And usually, for instance, you've got the CEO or the MD. They've got a fucking massive, great ego, and they will want to impress their ego on your work. Okay, I get it. The MD owns the business, maybe, or is certainly the highest person in the business, and he or she wants some say in what they do. But if he or she is not a fucking copywriter, their opinion is irrelevant.
Rightfully or wrongly, every now and again, I download the various social media apps onto my phone. I start a timer and I download them. And I tell myself it's for content research. I've started to think it's probably crossed that line because really look forward to that time. And I'm worried what it's doing to my brain because the highlight of my week is my social media hour. But anyway, by the by, on TikTok, I saw a self-employed social media marketing manager who claimed to be a social media marketing strategist. And what they sell is, and it's fair enough, they sell a really carefully crafted story, which I think is going to be far better off done as an email campaign, but that's another conversation, over a series of 90 social media posts, all laid out to craft this story. They hated it. They hated every single part of it. They told her what to change. And the whole premise of this TikTok was now I've got to spend 2 days making all the changes that they've said. You need some positioning in your life, sweetheart. I don't understand how you enter a relationship like that where there's an expectation that can even happen.
I agree with you. I mean, that's more common, though, than doing things our way.
I know, but that baffled me, John. I've been in your world since a very young age. And in my Facebook contract, when I was 17 years of age, I copied your work. If you edit, change, or do anything to my Facebook campaigns, you've lost all guarantees, this, that, and the other, because I know best and you don't.
My rules with clients writing copy is, unless I'm saying something which is untrue, or it's misrepresenting you or what we're selling, or in some way presents you in a bad light, brings you into disrepute either with the public or with any regulatory bodies or professional bodies, which is, all that's fairly objective. Assuming all those things are not true and it's clean and all the rest of it and doesn't misrepresent them and it's truthful, you get what I write. And if you start dicking with it, not only will you incur my displeasure, but if you dick with it too much, come back to me and say, oh, it's not working. You'll just go, well, so what? It's not working because you fucked about with it. And if they want to change it, perfectly entitled to. But they have to understand, if you dick with it, don't come back to me complaining and asking me to fix it. Not without paying me again.
Yeah, and you also get what you're given within reason. And we're not completely unreasonable where someone pays us 10 grand and we deliver them a fucking doodle. No, no, no.
Yeah, so we do bend over backwards, but you have to get in the front door first. To join the orgy, you have to get past the bouncer.
And he's big.
And he's big. But positioning it, it's not difficult to do.
It's easy for you to say that. I think everyone's, as you said, has been in that room where they're told that their work isn't good enough and they need to go change it all. I think there's many a builder listening to this that has probably built a wall and has been told, I don't like this wall anymore, tear it down, I want a new one. And they don't know how to deal with it. So they just do it because they don't know any other way. And no one has come along and said, you have permission to do it another way. They expect the expert fairy to come along and say, no, 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 no one treats you like this anymore. That expert fairy doesn't exist. The closest you're going to get to it is me, bumfluff Benham, and the evil twonk over there to say it's time to stick up for yourself and position yourself as an expert. No one gives you a birthday card saying, congratulations, you're 40, you're an expert now. Clients are going to be nice to you. Clients will treat you the way you allow them to treat you.
Absolutely. Everybody will. Spouses included, unless you're lucky like I am. I've got a great spouse. Most people will treat you exactly how you allow them to, especially your children. Fucking hell.
Especially clients. Clients, if they pay you a big bag of money, all of a sudden they think they're entitled to stick a finger in any orifice you have.
Absolutely. Some do, but mine don't, because they know I won't tolerate it. Here's the thing, you see, and I actually learned this from the world of dating, a guy called Ross Jeffries. It's not unique to him, but this is where I first came across it anyway. And that is, in dating, for instance, when men go looking for a sexual partner, if you think about it, and it's the same in marriages as well, and there's a whole genre of humor about this, how the woman is in control of the sex because she's got the pussy. And that's how it can feel, and that has actually spawned an entire fucking movement called incels. They don't just believe it, they actually fucking resent it. But how about if you turn it round and say, actually, I'm the prize here. And no matter how you might feel about it, you don't allow that dynamic to develop. Let's be very clear about this. You don't lay a hand on a woman without permission. I'm not saying that. And we are not Donald Trump who grabbed them by the pussy here. What I'm saying is you don't supplicate, okay? In the same way as if you want with clients, the fact they've got the money, all right, doesn't mean to say you have to fucking bow down and do what they tell you to do. Because there's 1,000,001 clients out there, or prospective clients with money. There's only one me. Yeah, that turn the dynamic around. I am the prize here, not them.
And if you behave like money doesn't matter, you will get paid like money doesn't matter, i.e. in a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. There's only one me, and there's only one of you, whoever you are listening to this. So why should you be the loser here? Why should you be the one who's slightly junior in the relationship with the client? If they won't fucking tolerate your rules and your boundaries and pay your prices, there's 1,000,001 fuckers out there who will. But there's only one you. It's fucking crazy that other people see it the other way around. There's loads of copywriters out there. Yeah, there are, but there's only one you.
I think I said this on I don't know if it was on the last Call Control Q&A or maybe the one before it. I said, I think people have a problem with positioning because it forces them to confront their own self-esteem.
Yeah, I think that's true too.
And most people, unfortunately, I think have very low self-esteem when you drill down into it.
People talk a lot about imposter syndrome. And I think if you've got it, even if the slightest bit of imposter syndrome in your body, you ain't going to find positioning very easy.
Prospects smell it.
In my one-on-one mentoring, one of the things they get, and it's priceless really, is the pretty much real-time WhatsApp support. So they'll get an inquiry and they'll screenshot it or something, and then they'll WhatsApp it to me, and they'll say, "What should I say to this?" Now, for the first month or so, I just tell them what to write. Then after about a month, when they're a bit more au fait with it, I say, "You write what you think you should send back, and then send that to me first before you send it, and I'll tell you how to fix it." And when they get to that point, they inevitably start off by going, "Hi, hope you're well. Hope you're having a nice day. Hope your holiday was nice." And I was like, just cut that out. You're not interested. You don't care. Why are you being unnecessarily polite and talking about trivia? Okay, stick to the point. If you've got something to say, just say it. It's one of the things as well with the WhatsApp messages is when I start, they say, "How long will it take you to get back to me?" kind of thing. And I say, "Well, I don't actually have my phone with me from probably 8:30, 9 o'clock onwards. And I don't have notifications on. So sometimes you might be waiting for, 10 or 12 hours for me to reply to you." I says, "But that shouldn't be a problem because you should not be replying to prospects immediately. If they're so fickle, you haven't replied in 10 hours and given them a fucking price for the work you're going to do. So they go to someone else. They weren't much of a prospect in the first place. If they want you, and if you've got your positioning and your marketing and your promotion done properly, they will be prepared to wait because they're after you specifically, not just another person with a keyboard."
Positioning's rather wonderful. Your life as an expert is far better than the life as just another pair of hands. It's infinitely better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So things you can start doing today: stop taking ad hoc calls, stop the trivia, stop the top entailing niceties of your messages, put your prices up, act as if money isn't an issue,
Stop working for free.
stop working for free,
Get paid up front.
get paid up front.
These are practical as well as kind of more abstract in the sense that they will improve your positioning. They're practical because they will they'll improve your cash flow immediately. Put your prices up. Second is you don't work for free, meaning say no free calls, no free consultations, no free audits, whatever you do. And the third thing is get paid up front. Now, there's various ways of doing that, but those three things, when I work with clients, my one-on-one mentoring clients, I get them to do those first three things. They cost nothing. They don't even require a rewrite of your website, pretty much, just a few words here and there. Those three things change your life dramatically for the better instantly. And they massively improve your positioning, which is a more long-term thing. People take you serious if you say, "Well, yeah, okay, you've answered those three questions. Can I help you? Do I want to help you?" Now it's, "Can you pay me?" From what you've told me so far, it seems like I could probably help you, but really we need to have a consultation. I charge £250, etc., etc., etc. You don't apologize for it. You don't say sorry. All right, you just say what it is, and then they will either do it or they won't. The moment you say to people, effectively, you're saying, "I'm not working for free. We can talk. I can probably help you, but it's going to cost you." People take you seriously because you're a serious fucking business owner. And let's face it, this idea of paying up front is not new. Going to McDonald's, going to Nando's, going to a travel lodge, even some of the upmarket hotels in London. So it's not just cheapo places.
Well, you swipe your card, didn't you, at the front?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you're guaranteeing payment. It's not new. So anyway, it's this stuff. It's simple, but it's not easy because it takes a bit of thinking. It takes a bit of different thinking, and it takes some courage too. Integrity takes courage, and it is about integrity if you think about it.
You need to be brave, especially when you're faced with hard times or you're faced with a prospect and you're worried if you can put your child on that school trip, or if you got a big team of staff to pay and there's a nice big carrot in front of you. That's when the courage comes through, because it's easy to be brave when you don't have those issues. It's easy to be on your high horse and say all of these things when you don't have the issues.
And this is why we need to be practicing them at least mentally all the time. As the Romans used to say, train hard, fight easy. The time to practice, learn to be assertive is not when you absolutely have to be. It's to do it in simple everyday life with your wife and kids, your husband and kids, your people in the office, people in shops, when it's not a big issue. You don't want to be practicing your assertiveness first time when you're talking to a prospect about a big project. It's not a good idea. Okay, so we're about done because I've got to go.
We are. Tell them where to go.
Yeah, we're doing a free training for Christmas. Forgot about that. wellfedbusiness.com/free-training. It's free. And if you don't like it, we'll give you double your money back.
And a pretend pizza.
And a pretend pizza, yeah. All right, guys.
Ta-ta for now.
Bye.